Analytics with Nags, and today I'm going to demonstrate about a real-time project recruitment analysis. As you know before, the real-time project, whatever I do, I will not create the dashboard step by step. Instead, I will walk you through the already created dashboards. That is my way of explaining the things. But today it is going to be slightly different. Like what as usual, I will demonstrate the existing dashboard, but I want to explain another important concept through real-time project implementation, like flat file to star schema. Usually this is a very debatable topic. Like once you have a single table, whether you can have a model as a single table or you need to build a proper star schema. So this one I'm going to do step by step for you, and without any further delay, let's begin into the topic. And if you are new to this channel, hit the subscribe button. As YouTube stat states, 70% of our analytics with Nags is unsubscribed viewers, and your subscription will give us motivation for the work we do. Also, like and share the content if you feel it's worth watching. Let's begin. So before the topic, I want to give you the expectation what you can expect from this video. Like as I said before, understanding the existing report, plan for flat model to star schema. So how we can plan, right? What is existing model has, and what are the complexities if we move to flat file to star schema. This is for already existing report. I am going to star schema. If you are building it for the very first time, like from the flat model you are creating the star schema, your reports are not yet built, then no need to worry about it. Just you can understand how I am building. Like you can concentrate on the implementation, how you can implement it. Can be for newly, if you are constructing the Power BI reports, right? In that case you can focus much on this. Okay, so for someone who doesn't know what is task schema, I already have a video like Power BI tutorials. You can go and check what is star schema. I'm not going to talk much about it, but in my next slide, I will just give me 30 seconds. I will try to wrap it up. Right. So we have a flat model, like we have everything in a single model. As I said before, this is the recruitment analysis where you have application number and you have details of the applicant and you have details of the vacancy, what post the applicant is applying for, then other fields required and date, right? This is the flat model. You have all information in a single matter. Now the main objective of this video is to create this or convert this flat table into a star schema, right? So that is the main objective of this video. And as I said before, we will see the existing report, then we will try to plan and implement this star schema from the flat model to a star. Let's see the data first, and you can see here these are the different fields. Like final dataset, I have computed it. This is the application ID and people, what qualification they have, and this is the information of the candidates. And we have application status, what status, whether they cleared the interview. And you might have ever, like in my previous videos, like I have generated the funnel chart where for each status you will have one record. Unlike that particular video, the data here not maintained multiple statuses, right? What I'm saying is, assume this application ID is there and this particular applicant applied, and initially he'll be, there are different statuses, like whether he is shortlisted, whether offer released, uncleared. So for each status one record will be maintained for this application ID. This data set is not maintained like that. whatever status, the latest status will be updated. So only one record per application ID. Okay. This is the data set and these are the different details of it. So we will come to this later while we are transferring into our star schema. Now using this data set, you can see this is the only data set I have. I mean one table. From this dashboard is built. Let us walk through this dashboard what it says. Like it contains total applicants and shortlisted. So basically this page is trying to track how many applicants, right? How many applicants are getting shortlisted from total applicants. So this is gives you the percentage out of 2163, 961 getting shortlisted. Okay, so only 44 percentage of the people are getting shortlisted. So next time you may imagine why these percentage is very important is like, assume you they need to shortlist around 1000 people. uh, this statistic says like only 44 percentage people are getting shortlisted, so they need at least 2000 applicants. Assume they get only 1200 applicants. From 1200, whether 1000 can be shortlisted? No. So this will give them a picture for their future recruitment process, how they can manage. Now they have a different roles requirement here. Let me increase the size over here. So how you can increase is like, here you have maximum size, right? So here you can increase the size of up to 50 percentage. Okay, so you can see the definition over here, even the category width, that is not the thing. Okay, fine. So they have different roles here, or different vacancies for business analyst, accountant, MSBI developer, Power BI developer. Now they are analyzing how many people are getting shortlisted here. Okay, so this is the simple chart over here. Then they want to know why people are getting rejected. See, now from this shortlisted, uh, these are considered shortlisted, clear technical round, offer is cleared. So there are 838 applications are getting rejected. They want to know why it is getting rejected, right? So as a hiring manager, and people should know the proper reason why it is getting rejected. It is not from the candidate perspective. Whoever in the recruitment managing purpose perspective, this dashboard will be helpful. So once they see this application rejection, right, they can able to see education, because of education degree mismatch. They studied some degree and whatever required for this role doesn't match, right? So age does not match. They have some age limits for this. Jobs for male only. There can be a category like something a field work or some other kind of thing. So and not reachable, because this they might be calling to get some information. This person is not at all reachable, they gave some wrong informations. So like this, there are different reasons people are getting rejected. They can see this count here. Okay, so and this particular chart gives male and female candidates and different application status. This is the overall status out of 2163. If you sum up all these things, this will give the overall status: shortlisted, rejected, all those things. So this is about this, and how they are calculating this percentage and this measures. Let's walk through the measures now. So this is total applicants. Let us see how it is built. The total applicants is the measure, and the formula is like if distinct count of application ID. So there can be some kind of duplication will be there. So safer side, it has used I mean I've used like a distinct count and is blank of 0, right? Sometimes there can be a blanks based on certain combinations. Okay, that's why it has put blank here. If it is blank, then make it as 0. Otherwise, right, you count the same thing. So you might have written in different way, but this is the way of writing I prefer, so I written like this. So this is just a distinct count of application ID. What about the shortlisted? So shortlisted is over here. So again, it is a distinct count of application ID. and application status is shortlisted. So this is fine, just a filter applied on this. Why? Because why it has written as using a measure instead of application ID, then they can use a visual level filter. But concept is they want to calculate the percentage of shortlisted. Okay, this only if you write some formulas here. So shortlisted percentage is nothing but divide of shortlist divided by total applicants. So we need two measures here. So in order to calculate shortlisted value, right, you need to compute a dedicated measure. So that is why we have used here a dedicated measure for shortlisted. So this is about this, and all other things are very simple charts over here, right? If and you have about five by vacancy, they want to see total applicants and shortlisted. Okay, that is the count now. And as I said before, you can click on business analyst. They want to see business analyst and accountant, everything. But there is option to choose drop down, right? Why? It is because now you can see these are very negligible. When you have a chart like this, right? People want to ignore this. We are giving a choice, right? So this is confusing very little. This is not at all started, so I want to ignore this. So if you give a one drop down, they can focus on the current requirement, whichever is having a top priority. But when you have it only in a chart, right, when you have it only as a chart, then you cannot do it. So now I do not want to analyze by Azure admin, right? Then I can ignore this. I want to focus only on business analyst, MSBI developer, and big data engineer. Okay, now in this case, now I can able to view it properly. So that is why this combo box is, I mean, drop down filter is given. So this is about this page, and there is nothing much about it. When you see this particular chart, it is rejection region by application count, even the gender by application count. It is just a count. So this is fine. What about this particular sheet? Insights, it's statistical analysis. What this will give you is like, this will give you again, see this entire process, the application tracking, the main purpose intention of the business owners, right, business requirement is to track out of how many applicants, how many percentage they are getting shortlisted. So similarly, for each vacancy they can see it in a single shot. So out of 1054 applicants in business analyst, 64 percentage getting shortlisted, here 55 percentage, here 63 percentage. So around half of the percentage only getting shortlisted. Okay, even they can see here how many getting rejected, being rejected. So based on the different roles, here the rejection percentage is more, right, compared to the shortlisted percentage in this particular .NET developer. So they can focus on more why it's getting rejected. They need to analyze more, right? So when they use applications, so this gives you a very good insight about the how it has built is very simple. It's a matrix report, vacancy name and application status, and it will have two measures. One is numbers. So numbers is nothing but application ID, that is count of application ID. Then this percentage is little tricky over here, like calculate count of application ID, then calculate count of application ID, remove filters of application status. See, this application status should be removed so that it will get the overall count. So how it is calculated? So this 181 should be divided from 303, right? So this particular context should be removed. So that is what we have said, like this 181 should be divided by 303, right? So remove application status. This status should be removed from the filter context. So that is what the remove filters from the application status. Then count divided by grand total. So that's it. That will give you the your percentage. So this is the simple measure. Then we have a drill through report, which is nothing but the details of all the table. Like you drag and drop the table and add the drill through figures. So again, this is not for the beginners who just don't know about drill through or what do you mean by calculate functions. This is for those who already have a basic understanding about all Power BI and you want to know how the real-time projects looks like. For them, this will give you a very good idea. If you don't know, just go through my playlist. You have all the options. You just how you can search is like you go through my analytics with blog. Don't search it here, it will search to YouTube. Now you want to know drill through, right? So just type drill through, so you will get the data. Type it properly, unlike me. So you can see drill through action. Even you can go and search star schema here, so you will get it. So just like that you can search. Now back to our topic. Like this drill through will give you the insight, right? So whoever cleared the client manager round, so you can go here and right click it, then see the details. So those 8 will appear here, so you can see the details. So this is what the drill through is. So this is fine. So this is our understanding about this report. Now I have explained what are the things, how we will build real-time projects. Now this is the tracking of the total applicants versus percentage of shortlisting people. Now whether this model is built in, whether it is good to go for a single table or star schema, which is performant in this case, I would say like this does not contain not more than 2000 records. Right now you can see here there are 2000 records only. For this, no need to think about going for a star schema. If your performance is really good, stick to the single model, right? That is well and good. But the what I want to explain to you is like when you have a very complex data set like 2 million 3 million records, and you cannot build only a flat model, and your calculations also very complex like time intelligence functions, distinct count with some different context transitions involves, then your star schema is so much helpful. So for you to understand how you can convert, forget about this model. The whatever I'm going to show in the next session is all about you can follow to create the star schema, right? From a flat model to star schema. Let us see how we can do it. And what I meant by plan, right? So plan is like let's try to understand the data and divide into how many dimensions we should have, what should be our fact table. So this should remain as a fact table. Like application ID is the granularity of your fact table, meaning for each application ID you have one record in this table. So this remains the grain, right? The lowest level where your data is maintained, right? This is what your grain. So this becomes your grain of your fact table. And what columns belongs to this application ID? Like application status belongs to application ID. Then rejected reasons, all these things belongs to application. So these things remains in a fact table. So let us try to color it out in yellow for whichever can be in fact table, like application ID, application status, then rejected reason. Okay, then what is considered as a dimension is like we have 2 dimension or 3 dimensions here, like candidate. So a single candidate can be applied to multiple applications. Okay, so a candidate information, everything related to candidate, can be put up in a one single dimension. So this becomes one of the dimensions. Let me put it in green for a single dimension. And this qualification is against the application, okay, or it can be no, the qualification is against the candidate, so it becomes part of the dimension. Now another thing is like this vacancy information, vacancy start date, end date, everything belongs to related to vacancy. We have only 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, right? So only these vacancies, these vacancy for these vacancies only these candidates are applying, right? So this becomes another dimension. So whatever you have it in light yellow is your fact tables, and this also in the fact table sorry, created it when it is created. Okay, sorry, really sorry for this. So I need to put the color back, yellow color, this color. Fine. So everything related to candidate becomes one dimension, anything related to vacancy becomes another dimension, and you have all the light yellow belongs to your what do you call in the fact. Okay, so this also becomes your vacancy table. So how you need to categorize is like you need to find the related information of your vacancy, right? So vacancy is one entity. For this, many application will be there. So this should be in another table. And for this, what are the attributes related to this vacancy, you need to understand. Last date for application, you can see for each vacancy it can be different dates, so you need to get this also to be in the same table like a vacancy, right? So that is what I meant here. So this is what I said, planning. So now you can see a single table. The light yellow is considered as fact, and these two becomes your dimension. And I can say like this, you if you have a date table, and this created date should be in another new table, like date table you will create desperately, and you will link this one. Okay, this is what you need to do. Okay, with this note, let us try to build from the scratch. I will open the Power BI desktop. So this is for your understanding, just whatever I colored, but this not belongs to, this coloring will not come to your Power BI. I hope you are aware of it. Let it open. Come on, it's taking a while. Bear with me. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create star schema here. I will name this file as recruitment analysis star. Okay, application tracking. This is my Excel. Final data set. Okay, then I need to go to transform here. Okay, now as I said before, first we'll try to create the candidate dimension. So this is our fact table. For that, I need to bring these four columns, right? These four columns in another table and link only the candidate name. I didn't have the name here, but usually it will have the names. That's fine. Now let me duplicate it. So how you can get these four columns? The simple way is to duplicate this one and then keep these four columns here. Okay, right click, select all these four columns, whatever you want, remove other columns. That's it. Then importantly, you need to select all, then do the remove duplicates. Okay, I think this name column should have a value. Since it doesn't have a value, we are getting error. So let us remove that one and we will select these three columns. So usually it will not be the case, you will have a name column. So once you select these columns, whatever you that belongs to a candidate, you just press remove duplicates. That's fine. Now this table has to be linked to this that candidate, not here in the modeling. So this becomes your candidate. Okay, this becomes your candidate. Now again you duplicate this to create the information related to vacancy. So whatever related to vacancy, select those: vacancy ID, vacancy name, vacancy start, vacancy end, when the last date for application, and say remove other columns. Then select all the columns here, then say remove duplicates. See here, in this case it doesn't show any issues similar to candidate. That's it. So now the main advantage you can see here is for 2000 rows, right? This vacancy information, which having only 9 vacancies, is getting repeated: start date, end date, and even the last date for applications. So that is why it is better to build a star schema that will definitely improve your performance. Now this vacancy is ready, candidate is ready, and as I said, it's optional to create a date for this analysis. I'm leaving it. I mean, you can create on your own date dimension. Again, as I said before, where you can check. If you don't know, just go and search in this search box, not here. Okay, now I have created two dimension. Whether I need to remove these columns? No, because once you remove it, that will reflect here, because you can see the source code of it, like everything belongs to here. I think we can do it. Let's see. If not, we can remove it. So now you need to keep the reference column. So you here the candidate ID becomes your key column here, and vacancy ID becomes your key column. So keep those two columns here, and you can remove the anything related to customer, I mean the student or the applicant here. Remove columns, so you have only candidate ID here, then vacancy name, vacancy start date, vacancy end date, last date for application. You removed everything. So rejected reasons, application status. So now you have application ID, candidate ID, created date, when the application is created, and then what is the application status, and vacancy ID, which vacancy ID you are doing to, then rejected reasons. That's it. So even you can create the rejected reasons as a dimension, right? So let us do it. Let's do it properly. Duplicate. Even it contains a single column, you can create as a proper dimension modeling. So now this becomes remove duplicates. Sorry, as most of the data contains blank, it is creating issue here. So I think almost first 1000 rows contains the remove duplicate. I mean you can use this one. So it's not doing anything. Table dot distinct dot values, it's saying table dot distinct dot values. So let me add a new step here. So now you can see what you can do here is like I'm doing advanced query to remove the column. I'm just trying to get that step here. That's it. So you can see now even the option the remove duplicate is not appeared. When you click on it, the remove duplicate is not appeared here, but I have written a code by myself by following the other logics. This is how you can learn the things, right? That's fine. Even this null is not required. What we can do is smartly null cannot link to null here. Okay, I mean to say in the data set null cannot be linked. So what you can do, replace a value, replace value, okay, replace, not error, duplicate column. I can say like replace the values, okay. I can say here rejected reason, you say null should be replaced with NA, not available, okay. Now even here you say rejected reason, okay. Be with me, rejected reason, then replace values, null should be NA. I hope you got what I'm trying to do. Just replicate your fact and create the distinct value and keep only the key column in your fact table. That's it. That is what, how can you can convert your flat model to a star schema. Now once you are done, just close and apply changes. And first thing, as soon as it loaded, you need to save your model first aside. Takes a while. It automatically trying to detect. I hope it has detected. By the time we can save this video, I have a lot over here. Projects, V6, recruitment analysis. I will say like star. Instead of flat, I will say star. That's good. Okay, now we got the model. Let's go and see here how it looked like. So rejected reasons got identified here, but these two doesn't join. Let us see what we are getting. When you see here the relationship as cardinality many to many, I'm getting shock here. Let's see over here, even vacancy ID. Again, so what it is saying is like it should have a unique data, but I'm not getting the unique data here. Why? Because there is something is not unique, okay, the vacancy ID. Let us try to investigate that. So if you bear with me, we need to find how in real time we are solving the issues. You need to wait. Like over here, the vacancy ID, you can see any duplicates. 1, 2, MSBI. Don't find any duplicates. Let me sort. See here is a catch. So there is a issue in the data where the there are two entries, the junior data scientist and accountant, okay. So it's because I prepared this data, we have a duplicate in our IDs. So for same role, the vacancies, I put same number. For different vacancies, I put the same number. So this is what the issue is. Similarly, there might be a candidate having the duplications. So let us try to sort it. Now easily you can see because I removed the name here, right? So you see the qualifications also, then because of that it has got the duplication here. So someone with the 52 name was there, I removed it. So how I can fix this one is like you should have a proper name and the candidate will be differing, right? So that is how you might have fixed this issue. So here for this you can ignore this one, the duplication is causing because of the qualification, remove this one. Then now again choose remove duplicates, okay. In case of vacancy we cannot just like that we can do, right? You need to fix this data. So for accountant, in my source we have somewhere um, either accountant or junior analyst, we need to add the vacancy ID as 31619, something like that, okay. Let me open it up. This is my source data. Let us try to filter the accountant. Let me put as 34, something like that. Okay, save. Since I prepared it, I know where is the issue. So as soon as you get some shocks, you should not be worried. Now refresh all. There you go. Now 34 is there. Even the candidate is we fixed. Just close it. Okay, now try to join candidate with candidate. Here's the magic. Vacancy ID to vacancy ID. There you go. Now you put a proper model. As I said before, you can add a date and create a date. You can link it to. Now we have achieved what we want, and this is for your understanding. I have created the new file, that is recruitment analyst task schema. So while building this report itself, like I have already built this report from a single file. So if you are deciding whether you want to go for star schema, then at the beginning itself you need to decide design like this. Then you start building the measures, and you can create your reports, right? And what will happen is, like, there are two options, right? So either, if you then in this situation, now you already have this report, correct? That is, you build from a single table. In this case, what you need to, you have left with two options. Either you create a new report like this with star schema, then you need to copy and paste these reports to here, and before that you need to create those measures already created here, right? So that is one option, and another option is like use the existing report itself. In the single file itself, you try to create the stat schema, and definitely some of the reports or charts will fail. Because why? I'm telling you the reason. Like, if you see here, this particular measure, this vacancy name, now it belongs to final data set. So now in the new star schema, you do not have a vacancy name in the final data set. Only a vacancy ID will be there. The vacancy name will be available in the vacancy dimension, right? So this will become vacancy of vacancy name. So obviously this will fail, right? So what you need to do, you need to fix this. Instead of this particular thing, you need to remove this and add it. So that is how you need to fix your report. So it is always better you decide whether it's a single flat file or your star schema in the beginning itself, before developing the reports. Once you develop the reports, it's always a headache. You need to have to rework in your report. So how you will do, I will walk you through very quickly. Now we will try to create one particular report. This chart only we will try to create here, this new report. How you usually we will do. So before creating it, I will try to copy this visual and then go to the star schema. Let us paste it. Obviously it will fail because you can see the reason. The final data set, total applicants and vacancy name is not there, right? So the columns used over here is not exist. If you know the formula, you can start writing it. If it is not a calculated field, like now you can see this is the total applicants. Now you have written two measures. You need to replicate these two measures over here. So let us try to copy these measures. Total applicants. Okay, go to star schema, then create new measure, and it is just application ID. I hope there won't be any issues. Just hit enter. And if you are trying to change it in the same file, then this won't be a big deal, because already, but you need to fix those measures. Instead of final destination application status, I mean shortlisted, for these things you can do it.
So here I'm saying vacancy name, you need to remove this vacancy name, drag and drop once you build it, right? It's either way. Now what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to build new meshes here, two new meshes for this report, and click on enter. That's it. So this chart requires only two meshes. Let us try to put those things. It will automatically go here and by vacancy name. That's it. So now you can see value 1054 here and 676. So same value appears here, 1054 for business and it's 676. So this is how you need to do it. So it's better always you will do or decide or model the things at the very beginning stage. I hope you guys like this video. If you like it, hit the thumbs up button, comment below for queries. As I said before, if you haven't subscribed this channel, please do subscribe it. That will gives a motivation to do more. Do remember that data is your asset.